Pass, I think my names are Honorable Kipruto Kimosop, the MCA Mochongoi Ward, and also representing North Rift in the National Executive Committee of CAF. We are here with my colleagues here who have spoken. We are here to set the record straight for the country, for the county, and even internationally. Yeah, correct. Because after yesterday's event, we were shocked later to watch added up press conference of our colleagues feeding the country with half-truths, misinformations, and falsification, misrepresentation of material facts of what happened in the assembly. And therefore, we have a duty, and this is the duty we have come forward, to set the record properly straight as follows. That number one, we properly gave out a notice of motion yesterday, which was duly moved by Honorable Charles Koskei Elias Chako, who is also the chair of Justice, Cohesion, Devolution, and Legal Affairs Committee. That notice of motion was properly given out, and we followed the procedure. Secondly, the motion was also debated yesterday, again, according to our standing orders. It went on very well, and the answer is available. All the contributions were made. Application for adjournment were made. All the procedural issues were raised. They are captured and answered. And the speaker, in each of the items, ruled and gave guidance all the way up to division. And when we went to division, those of us who opposed the motion got 30 votes. Yes. 30 votes of honorable members present and voting. They got 11 votes. At the point of the declaration, an attempt was made to ban the assembly. Because what happened is that electric cables at the exit point of the assembly were shot. And the intention was to ensure that those electric cables disrupt and ban the whole assembly. When that never happened, they threw up a tear gas when the first attempt failed. There was a commotion. But something that was never captured by the cameras, and that is the reason why this lie is going round, is that within the commotion, and when the tear gas thing subsided a little bit, we still came back to the assembly. And the answer document is on. Yes. They didn't manage to switch off the answer document. And the answer document captures the speaker declaring the results. And so the position of Baringo is the PPI, the Constitutional Amendment Document Bill 2021 in Baringo County Assembly was defeated. Yes. That is the position. And that is the fact as it is. Our answer is available, and the Speaker of Baringo County Assembly, Honorable David Kerich, will be submitting the certification to the Senate and to the National Assembly. Yes. So that is the material fact. That is what happened, and there's no debate about it. That is one misconception we wanted to clarify. The second one, we want to challenge our colleagues. If you think the process was not followed, if you believe for sure that the legality of this process is doubtful or is wanting, why did you participate in it? Mm-hmm. How do you participate in an entire process up to voting, and then you turn around and tell us that the process was illegal? For the record, in the House Business Committee, where I sit as a member, we actually voted, and 9 members of the House Business Committee supported the motion to come to the floor. 5 members opposed the motion not to come to the floor. So we won at the House Business Committee. Inside the House here, every matter, Honorable Selemoi, Honorable Peti Brichoko made myriad of applications. Each of those applications were responded to. So if sincerely you believe that the process was not followed, why did you participate? Now, the other paradox, the other contradiction is that when you say that the process was flawed, then you should have voted with us to defeat the motion. You actually voted to support the motion. We voted to defeat the motion. So why did you vote to support a motion you are saying it is not procedurally in the assembly? The body of this motion required the members of the assembly to approve. But you voted to approve. So even if you were to go to court, what are you going to tell the courts? You are saying it was not procedural, it was not proper, you should have rejected it. You should have rejected it. So now you voted to approve the motion, and you are saying, in fact, I look forward to look at the plain papers that they will file in court. This will be the most ridiculous application ever witnessed in history. Because what will you be saying? You will be saying what, and you supported the motion that you are saying was not procedural. So that is number 2 item that we wanted to say. The third item, we have seen protestations that the security guard of the speaker was the only person armed in the whole presence of the assembly. We need to clarify this one, and I need to confirm this to the country, that I did personally receive calls from the security agencies here asking whether we were peaceful or not. I clarified that we were peaceful. But nevertheless, something happened in the history of county assembly, in the history of parliament, in the history of legislature that should actually be captured even in the Commonwealth, because it has never happened. That an OCS walked into the assembly and without bowing, he went ahead to sit down inside our chambers, the OCS of Cabernet. So when you say the only person who had a harm was the bodyguard of the speaker, the OCS of Cabernet disrespectfully against the County Assembly Service Act, against all the protection, all the immunities that assemblies enjoy, because even in Commonwealth, parliamentary practice is that presence of the assembly are protected. You cannot even be arrested inside the presence of the assembly. But the OCS of Cabernet walked in, sat down with us. We had to bring to the attention of the sergeant at arms that we have a stranger in the county assembly of Baringo.
The chambers.
So the lie that the speaker should be investigated, the guilty are always afraid. Yes. Apart from the OCS, we want to confirm to the country that there were police officers that were manning us. A huge contingent of police officers were deployed here. That is the position. The level of intimidation, the level of blackmail, the level of intrigue, the level of pressure and threat was enormous. So that is one misconception that I wanted to correct. The other misconception that has been relayed around, and I want to tell our Kano colleagues, even lying, even conmanship requires a little bit of intelligence. If you must lie, if you must concoct a conmanship, please be a little bit intelligent. When you say there was an attempt to disrupt the business here because we sensed defeat, I mean, sincerely, you take Kenyans for fools? You take Baringo people for fools? Who senses defeat between 11 votes and 30 votes? Who senses defeat? So when you lie and you get excited because of the cameras and you lie to the country, have a little bit of intelligence. Have a little bit of respect to the people who watch what we are doing in Baringo. We are handling a constitutional moment. We are handling a constitutional position. And on matters like this, don't use this constitutional moment to take the people of Kenya for a ride. So that is the other misconception I wanted to clarify. The other one is this lie that that there should have been public participation, there should have been a proper procedure. I want to raise this for the record. The 30 elected MCAs have the representative role of the people. When I speak on behalf of the people who elected me. When Churo Amaya MCA, the former deputy speaker, Salamoi, he repeated many times in the Hansard that he was speaking on behalf of the people of Churo Amaya what? When Lotela spoke passionately, he spoke on behalf of the people of Silale what? So how do you come unanswered, purport to be speaking on behalf of your people, and then you are telling us there was no public participation? And this is an area that the country needs to know. The referendum bill is still pending in Parliament and Senate. It has not been signed by the President. It has not been approved. This is an area that is not clarified in law. There's no clear precedent. There's no clear framework of how a referendum situation is to be handled. That is why we are still saying, do we have elongated questions or we have one position? That is why even IEBC has been told, don't run a referendum fast. Because they still need, this is a gray area. There's no standard practice of how these matters are to be executed. But however, we have done the way we have done in Baringo. And this is the first popular initiative in Kenya. Countries and democracies like America, who have had their democracy for close to 200 years, have had series of referendums. In Kenya, we are doing it for the first time. We are setting the precedents. We are setting the traditions. So what we have done in Baringo may not be what other assemblies will do. It doesn't mean we are wrong, and it doesn't mean they are right. We are entering into what legal minds call uncharted territory. So that is the other misconception. Finally, I have heard you say that the speaker and the clerk are responsible and that you are going after them. That you will go after the speaker, you will go after the clerk. And that you were threatening them that because you have ambitions probably to be what, or probably to be what. I mean, this is the point I want to tell these guys. There's absolutely no blame on the speaker or the clerk. Blame the House Business Committee because we approved the motion. Blame the floor because we voted overwhelmingly. Blame us members. Don't blame innocent people. What do you want the speaker to do? If the assembly, if the House Business Committee, which allocates business, allocated this particular business, what did you want the speaker to do? What did you want the clerk to do? The role of the clerk was to ensure that the order paper is properly laid in the assembly. So what would he have done? Something else. We have heard you say, oh, you know, the speaker needs to be investigated, oh, this kind of thing. We want to tell our county security team. What happened yesterday needs proper investigation. And it should start from the security agencies that were present here. We want to know, who are they? Who authorized them to come here? What was the fracas that brought them here? And the threat that you will impeach the speaker. We dare you, and we want to confirm to you that the speaker of Baringo County Assembly is going nowhere. Yes. He has our support, the clerk has our support, and the fact that how many times have I been defeated here myself? How many times have I taken positions that I was defeated? So it doesn't mean because you lost today and you have been winning all the other motions, the speaker becomes bad when you are defeated, and the speaker becomes good when you win. It doesn't work like that. I have swallowed humble pie many times when I have taken positions that I ended up getting defeated.